to the Fast Mode Studios. Today we will be speaking to Panos Skliamis, CEO of SPIN Analytics, an AI-based credit risk management solution provider. SPIN Analytics has been invited as a Next 20 startup at the Digital Transformation World 2022, which will be taking place in Copenhagen this week. Hi Panos, great to have you on today's session.
Yes, thank you very much, Ariana.
Is SPIN Analytics excited to be at DTW 2022? How does it feel to be a Next 20 startup, and what are some of your key showcases for the event?
We're very excited that we're participating at the DTW 2022. We were selected as a top company to participate in this exciting event. And now back to reality after the COVID situation, we are ready to increase our networks with new partners. This event actually, it's targeting about digital transformation, and as a company we're exactly there because we have developed a solution in financial technology which is about digital transformation and big data in credit risk modeling. Regarding the new features of our product, which is called RISKROBOT, we're going to showcase how fast is the data cleansing, model development and model documentation, which actually can help any telecommunication provider to digitalize the credit risk modeling function. Since there is a big trend in the last years, a lot of telecommunication providers, they are entering in the market of lending and financial services. Thank you.
Interesting. So how has the COVID-19 pandemic affected the banking industry? What are some of the changes that you've seen in consumer and market behavior, and how has this affected existing credit risk models?
Yes, COVID-19 destroyed actually the predictions for all banks, and since credit risk modeling is a modeling process about the future, how the client and the consumer and customer will behave towards his obligations towards the bank, COVID-19 actually had a significant impact. The consumer and market behavior changed significantly before COVID, during COVID, and after COVID, as we all know. There is a big difference comparing what was the norm, and these all changes are impacting on a serious level on all credit risk models for all the banking players, but also for other type of companies like the telecommunication providers. The way to solve that is not by just automating a machine learning application or something like that, but with the expert judgment, as we call it. So actually, this is our expertise in the credit risk modeling process, and we have achieved to industrialize the whole process by keeping the expert judgment as a main part in the whole assembly line that we develop every time with RISKROBOT. COVID-19 is a significant change in the time series of data because it was abnormal, the whole situation. But now we are going back to a different situation, which is not the before COVID situation, but is a new inflationary environment. So actually, the market dynamics have created an environment where the banks and the new players in the lending space have to take care of the expert judgment, and this is not an easy task. We as a FinTech provider and with our core product, which is called RISKROBOT, we offer this opportunity to all the clients and the potential clients in order to, first of all, to keep the understanding of how their model will behave towards the data changes, but also to apply their expertise, which is a must-have.
Great. So how does SPIN Analytics RISKROBOT power the digital transformation of banks? How does an AI automation solution for credit risk modeling deliver flexibility and cost savings?
Well, we don't approach with the traditional way, meaning to create a neural network or a machine learning application only. As we have discussed in the past, we develop a factory approach. It's a framework. We didn't develop one model that fits everywhere, so there is no magic stick here. It's a different approach, and the approach is the following. We have developed a factory which we call a RISKROBOT, and the factory can actually be configured per portfolio level for a banking or a lending portfolio. This means the client can actually use the traditional methodologies or more advanced methodologies, but in a no-code platform. The first efficiency is that the whole speed goes in minutes or hours instead of months. So from 12 months work, that is a traditional way to develop a credit risk model like a probability of default model or a loss given default model, we go to a few hours end to end, including data cleansing, model development and validation and documentation. And this can be configured per portfolio, as I said, and not just as one solution fits everything. Now, the first important efficiency after this kind of, let's say, efficiencies in the market is that the customer can adjust the portfolio according to his needs. He can update the models in a very fast mode, so we're talking about on a daily basis if he has the data. And the telecommunication providers, they have actually this kind of flexibility. They have enough data and they need very fast updates in their models. The second thing is that this can become the base for a regulatory model. So if a telecommunication provider becomes a very significant player in the market with a big number of loans, the central banks will approach them and they will require regulatory level models. In this case, they will have to develop a PD from scratch actually, but here they can do this with RISKROBOT in a few minutes. Now, the whole approach that we followed is not just on an AI workflow, but it includes AI automations because we use expert systems, but at the same time we keep the traditional methodologies and space for new methodologies in a new environment. At the end of the day, the client wants to be sure that the rating is correct at any given time. And this is not something that the AI or machine learning can just support. There is a combination of things, and that's why we have succeeded to become one of the major players in the global industry, since we're approaching the market from a totally different direction.
So how does an explainable AI automation solution such as RISKROBOT deliver greater transparency and auditability than traditional AI-based credit risk modeling solutions?
Yes, so it's not that we have done something magic, as I said already. It's a different way that we're approaching. We have developed the software based on the regulatory level of modeling, which allows us to actually achieve the explainable AI automation, as we call it, which of course is a buzzword, but in reality, here we have a full document written by the software that analyzes how the model was developed, and this can be in hundreds of pages. The document is going to be written in a couple of minutes by the software, and this creates significant transparency, auditability, and explainability about how the data was treated, what kind of methodology we followed, all the calculation steps, graphs, formulas, and analysis. And this is something that it's unique in the market. There's no other company globally that follows this direction and has this kind of results. Now, this can create the base to build new models, and at the same time to build a suite of credit products, not just one or two models, but probably a big number of models and for a big number of different segments. So actually, there are multiple efficiencies here. One is about the speed, auditability, quality of modeling. The other are multiple business benefits, since the users can see that actually they can expand their market, they can capture new segments and new clientele, and they can have segmentation per client, not just per market and type of client. And that's something unique, again, which we have achieved with RISKROBOT.
That's interesting. So how can tech companies partner with SPIN Analytics to enhance their offerings in the banking sector? Can you tell us more about your recent partnership with Microsoft?
Yes, as a company, we aim to partner with any type of company that can support us. we have focused on the FinTech side, and the rest we have tried to create an ecosystem of partners. One of them is about the system integrators. One other segment is about the cloud providers, and we have Microsoft as the main cloud provider. Microsoft has selected SPIN Analytics after a very rigorous process as the best solution for regulatory credit risk modeling. We're a transactable offer in their marketplace, in the Azure marketplace, and also all their team globally supports our actions in every single client. The reason is that for the cloud providers, there is significant cloud consumption when a bank will use a RISKROBOT on a cloud environment. And we partner also with management consulting companies like the Big Four and the rest. And this is because there is significant synergy between an advisory firm that supports a bank about a variety of projects around credit risk modeling and the automation that we are bringing with RISKROBOT.
How is SPIN Analytics looking to expand its reach? What are some of its plans for growth and expansion?
We are currently in a scaling mode. We're expanding our company in Europe, US, and Asia Pacific. Currently, we have a lot of actions in the US market with multiple banks and software providers that they are supporting our presence there. We started expanding through the partners. So actually, the partners are bringing clients and leads, and that's a key channel. At the same time, we're building hubs of new teams in specific areas like London, where it's our headquarters, Switzerland, we are going to have a new hub for supporting Europe. In Athens, Greece, we have already our technical team and we support the whole Europe, but also different parts of the world. And also in New York and Singapore and Hong Kong. These are key markets for us. So we're currently creating new teams. And we started through the partners, but we're also supporting them with the local presence. The partnerships are very important for this kind of markets because nobody can say that knows everything and we cannot do everything at once. So actually we start from where is our core expertise, and our expertise is on credit risk modeling and financial software, and then we build on that. We believe that now we are in a very good shape since there are multiple projects in the market that can become references for potential clients, and these are in 3 continents actually, and that creates a very big potential for further expansion.
Amazing. Thank you, Panos, for joining us today and for sharing all your insights on how AI and automation is powering digital transformation in the banking industry. And for everyone watching, thank you and see you again in our next episode.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Ariana.